Hey guys, this is Kris Jones, episode 7 of Ask Me Anything. I want to thank you guys for your participation. Today's questions are awesome. They are hard, actually, in some respects, because they get at the core of, how I'm trying to raise my kids. They kind of quiz me on how I'm thinking about some emerging technologies and trends, which is always provocative and kind of hard to go on the record, but nonetheless fun. There's also some personal ones in there, which I appreciate, where an old friend will post something. There's some context typically when a friend posts because we have a relationship and we've done things together. But I want to thank you guys for participating. Please go ahead and post any comments or questions that you have, in the comments section. It's my hope over the coming weeks that, that we could have a conversation together. The way that I think about this is that each of us, wake up every morning and we have goals, we have aspirations, and we have challenges. And so therein lies an opportunity for us to work together through those opportunities and through those obstacles. So thank you. Thanks for your participation. One other thing I wanted to say. Here it is, episode 7, right? The first couple videos that I did were, they were a learning experience. But I wrote down here, up through this video, we had 29,691 video views. I hadn't really written any goals, and I don't have any goals for my reach here with these videos, but to think that I almost touched 30,000 people in under a month is pretty awesome. So that's motivating, that's exciting, and feel free to like this video and share it. If there's a friend or someone that you think could benefit from this experience, please let them know about it. I'll do everything I can to give that person as much value as possible. So let's dive in. Here's one of those questions. My old industry friend, Bob Jones, posted, "What is the single piece of advice given to my kids?" This, my friend, is a very personal question. And like those of you that are out there that are parents, isn't it ironic that we never took a course, a college course, or any type of course to become parents? It clearly is the hardest thing that anyone can do. But I know so many of you can relate to that challenge. So, the advice I would give my kids is to be confident. Because I think, when I reflect back on my childhood, I was a confident little kid, and I got that from my mom. I mostly got that from watching her be confident. So part of what I'm trying to teach my kids is by example. Showing them that you get more out of life when you're willing to throw yourself in. Throw yourself into whatever challenges or opportunities come. I'm not one of those people who believe that, you just kind of think positive and life's going to be okay. I know a lot of parents that are like that. For me, it's about confidence. Confidence for my children, and by the way, I'm so grateful that they are developing confidence. But confidence represents resilience, right? Confidence doesn't presume that everything's going to go perfect, that you're going to get everything you want. But what it does presume is that you're going to take that first step. You're going to take action. You're going to put yourself in the game. And that's the single piece of advice I give my kids. And by the way, it's mostly through example. But I'm very conscious and conscientious of that. So I try not to show, the other side of confidence. Bob, good question. Thanks for your persistence in making sure that I answered it. And I hope that I answered it in a way that you feel is okay. What, by the way, Bob, is the single piece of advice that you would give your kids? Love to hear in the comments. John Lopez, thank you for your question. So the question is around millennials, and as they are getting older and beginning to make some money, would agencies like LSEO be willing to invest in getting their attention? And you kind of insinuate, would video or photo, content marketing, that kind of thing be the way to go? So, interesting, millennials. Let me give one quick example of my children again. Now, my kids are not millennials. My kids are whatever the newest generation is. But my 8-year-old son conducts searches all the time on his mobile device, but he has never once typed anything. Everything is audio search. So if I go back into the millennial generation, here's a generation that has been mostly inspired by things that have a social element to it, a social cause, if you will. Some of the biggest brands of the millennial generation, whether it be Tom's or whether it be Warby Parker, The Honest Company, among others, have this sense of giving back attached to it. So, if you're a business and you're trying to connect with that generation, you need to, stop selling what the product does, and you need to think about the impact that that product has on society, on the person that uses it. And if you don't have a social element to your product or service, you should really think about that as it relates to connecting with the millennial generation. This is also a generation that, for a decent portion of their life, just like us, have been communicating through social networks, they have an understanding of the world through things like Instagram and most recently Snapchat, among others. So video and content is what they know. It would probably be fairly difficult to engage in a conversation with a millennial about some of the things that in my generation, we were exposed to as kids, whether it be traditional television. They want to talk about Netflix, right? They don't want to talk about, the NBC News at 6 o'clock. So yeah, I think that online video, how you could connect with is important. I also think that, thinking through the lens of a mobile device. Because when push comes to shove, mobile is eating the world. And as it relates to the millennial generation, it's what they know. And I'm a big believer. Here I am sitting in front of a video camera in the power of connecting with people through video. And I believe that the millennials are probably as sensitive to that as anyone. Which leads to your second portion of your question around influencer marketing. Do I think that local businesses here in northeastern Pennsylvania will begin to kind of get it and embrace influencer marketing? This area is laggard when it comes to embracing certain trends, but with my digital marketing agency, LSEO, I could tell you that we're having a number of conversations with local businesses who are interested in thinking through how they could leverage social influence to promote their products and services. So, influencer marketing it's just a redefinition of what brands have been doing forever. Whether it be the Wheaties box or whether it be Nike sneakers, it's just now what the definition of influence is kind of changed to represent a whole new class of influencers, people who have significant social media followings, people who have very active and well-subscribed YouTube channels, among others. Now, I will say this, while our area tends to be laggard, the future, I think, certainly includes influencer marketing. I actually believe it deserves and should be its own digital marketing channel. And when LSEO, my agency, is selling, multi-channel marketing strategies, influencer marketing is one of those areas. Thank you for your question, John. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Let's see. Maria Carlson, you are correct that no questions are dumb questions. How do you feel like you're ahead of the game as a digital marketer? Constant and continuous education. Industry moves really, really fast. I keep up with the pulse of the industry by following probably a lot of the same things you do and others do. Search Engine Journal, Search Engine Watch, Search Engine Land, those kind of things. But honestly, if you do just that, you'll probably be at par with others who are doing it. What I have found is by kind of putting myself in the ring as a thought leader, by writing, by public speaking, these are ways that require me to do a lot of preparation. If I'm going to speak at like a PubCon or something like that, I may put a full week of preparation into that. 40 hours. If I'm going to write a piece, I actually just wrote a piece, it was just published in the last couple of days on Search Engine Journal. That required, 10 to 15 hours of research to put that article together. You see? So if you're just reading an article and you're consuming it, that's one way of staying up on the industry. But you want to take it to the next level, contribute, write, speak, those kind of things. Thank you for your question. A couple of people, both Beverly, and I appreciate you continuing to ask questions. Thank you so much, Beverly Johnson and Steve Masterson, both ask if I have any intention of doing any seminars, either motivational or digital marketing here locally. The easy answer to that is no, I don't. I have an intention of doing 100 of these videos. And through these videos, I hope to touch a lot of people. These videos are not difficult for me to set up. I have the folks at Cole Creative show up here, at KVJ Capital, and they set up, they tell me when they're ready, I sit in front of the camera, and I start talking to you. A lot easier for me to do with all the other things I have going on. That said, I do speak at colleges locally. I'm involved in TechBridge, which is the parent organization of the Business Plan Competition and the Entrepreneurship Institute, and I usually participate in those things. So nothing scheduled, nothing. My goal right now is to continue to do these videos with you guys. Okay, Carrie Roselle Hilbert, you went ahead and posted a video saying that people who curse are smarter. Fuck that. Of course they are. I was at a seminar once, Tony Robbins, who curses like you wouldn't believe, and he said that he does it consciously. It's just not just like a bad habit. Turns out that, by incorporating cursing and strong language in your communication, you jar people, you keep them attentive, and when you're attentive and when you're higher energy and when you're not falling asleep, chances are that you'll have stronger recall. So it was funny that you posted the video. I watched the whole thing, and I try not to curse around my kids, but when I'm engaging with adults, what the fuck? Why not? Might as well curse. Keep you guys up and listening. So let's see. Bartos, you say how to start investing in startups with a small budget. What is the best platform? Minimal budget. Oh man, I would say angel.co is a great platform. You could invest, I think, as small as $1,000, and you could invest a ton of money. An example of a success story from angel.co was actually, Angel.co had Airbnb on it, I believe, from the start. But my example is called Dollar Shave Club. The first round of capital for that company that had $1 billion exit was hosted by my friend Mike Jones, not to be confused with Mike Jones from Pepper Jam, but Mike Jones from Science Incorporated in Los Angeles. He posted the first round of equity financing for Dollar Shave Club, and there was a $1 billion exit. So you can end up, investing in something that has, incredible upside. But I have found that, networking at conferences like TechCrunch and Collision are good opportunities for you to muster up deal flow. Because ultimately, the real question is not how much, because I just told you could go on angel.co and invest 1,000. But it's really around deal flow. How could you see more deals? And the best way to do that is just network. For me also, when I started my own angel fund, KBJ Capital, inevitably, that kind of formalized the fact that I was looking to make investments. So if you're just doing it associated with your name, that's a little bit more difficult to kind of get the word out that you're an angel investor. So, I felt, going to TechCrunch, Disrupt, and Collision Conference as, the founder and CEO of KBJ Capital was very helpful. The other thing is what's called a syndicate. So you could either syndicate with other angels, so find other people who are actively angel investing and let them know that should they want to create a syndicate, meaning a group of people going in and say one block, say a $50,000 block or a $100,000 block, that you'd be willing to do that. One of the cool things about that is that you'll often see more deals and you'll have access to higher quality deals. And in fact, if you really want to formalize it, you could create your own syndicate on angel.co, and assuming that you could have other people join your syndicate, you could actually take what's called a carry. So let's just say you raise $100,000, you put $20,000 of your own in. On that additional $80,000 that you raise, you could take up to a 20% carry, which means that you get additional equity for bringing people to the table, which is pretty cool. And if I'm not mistaken, the syndicate that I mentioned before for Dollar Shave Club, I believe Mike set that up as a syndicate with a carry. So not only did he help them raise money, but he also got a carry on it, which is pretty good. So finally, this was a question that Zayed Sarah had posted on the effect of AI and robots on the employment, consumption, and the markets. That is a huge question. Let me tell you this. I think that when I think about these things, when we watched cartoons as kids like the Jetsons and others, I really do believe in a future that has, for instance, automated cars, right? I own a Tesla, and I love the auto drive feature. And there's a lot of research to back up that it's actually safer when I'm not behind the wheel, or at least when I'm not driving the car and the machine is driving the car. So I believe, generally speaking, that in a lot of cases, not all cases, but machines are smarter than we are. We're emotional beings, we're distractible, among other things, and so I think machines could be smarter. I also think that this idea of machine learning is pretty profound. If we just think about, Amazon's Alexa, and she gets smarter every single week in terms of her ability to answer questions and to serve those of us that have her. And by the way, I'm trying not to mention her name because I have one upstairs, and I don't want to have a conversation with her right here when I'm having a conversation with you guys. But she continues to get smarter. So I like this idea of iterative machine learning because it makes things easier. So another area that I believe that this is really going to impact, and already has, is the idea of the broader Internet of Things and home automation. We waste a lot of time running around our house doing certain things, turning lights on, turning lights off. Oh my God, honey, it's too warm in here. Oh, it's too cool in here. Oh my God, we're on vacation. Did we turn down the heat? Again, go back to Alexa, the ability to just communicate with her and control things in your house. Oh, there she is. She's trying to talk to me. And being able to set reminders, being able to get flash news briefings, being able to turn off the lights, turn down the lights, all of these things. I think that the effects of these things on our life are gonna really kind of just drive efficiency into our lives. And I also believe that I don't want to say it's going to make us smarter, because you could argue that we'll get sort of lazy or more lazy, however you want to look at it. But I think it's a good thing, and I embrace them. The food service industry is one of the more interesting ones, because so many people are employed at fast food restaurants and at just dining establishments. However, I believe that a lot of what's going on in food services could be automated. I know that's scary for people who are employed in that area, but I think that there's a ton of inefficiency. Ever walk into like a McDonald's and there's like 30 people bumping into each other behind the counter, and it's still inefficient. So just adding more people to a process, isn't always efficient. Adding intelligence to the system, streamlining it through machines and through technology is a lot more efficient. So I think it'll have a profound impact on the markets, in particular around automated driving and Internet of Things as it relates to home automation. So hope that gives you a little bit of flavor into how I'm thinking about these things. And if you want to ask me a follow-up, feel free to comment below. So that's it. This is episode 7. I think you guys are going to help me get over 30,000 views. Make sure to share it with your friends and comment below. And I will see you guys for episode 8. Peace.